You just thought it would come round to the new year, 2024, and they were going to publish all of those names on Jeffrey Epstein's list. And then nothing happened. So what's going on? Here's the facts. Hello, yeah, wrongin'. Let's just call this Epstein the list. You're thinking, hang on, what's going on? We were told it was all going to come out in the new year. It's 2024. So where are the names? Well, some names on the list, and I'm going to go into detail. I'm going to explain everything. We're going to cut through the fog so you get a clear understanding of what has happened, what is happening, and more importantly, what is going to happen. And I will tell you this, that some of the names on Jeffrey Epstein's list are now not going to be released until after January 22nd, 2024. What do you mean? What's going on? Be wary of what you read online. There was a lot of clickbait going around over the last couple of days because everybody was expecting the list just to be published. So the Jeffrey Epstein flight logs everyone was sharing as breaking news were actually released in 2021 during the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. Not that the mainstream media published it. What people are also failing to report is that a smaller version of these particular flight logs were actually released via Gawker in 2015. So it's 2024. Do the sums. They've been around for nearly 9 years. So these records have been available via open source information since 2015. Anybody can access them. They're all over the internet and social media. Open source means they're open to everyone. And now, all of a sudden, people want to talk about them or post them as breaking news, I presume, for clickbait and or to gain followers on social media. Because let's face it, nowadays, everything is about clicks and likes and subs. There's a ton of records that are about to be released regarding Mr. Epstein. There will be new and old information that comes out. Be careful about what you share and who you follow, because not all of it is going to be factual. And I would, if I was you, expect a ton of disinformation and psyops swirling around the release of the Epstein records. The elites are not going to want you to know, so why would they allow it to get into your, or in front of, your eyeballs? So, let me just say this. Everything's out. That's out. There will be more revelations coming, and in this video. And the truth will out. So let's cut through all the fog. Epstein's List, who is on it, and why is it being made public? The disclosures that may throw new light onto the sex trafficking network directed by Epstein, who died in 2019, and his associate, Ghislaine Maxwell. A judge ordered the court documents in a lawsuit linked to Ghislaine Maxwell must be unsealed. There are 187 mentions of J, the initial, Doe, D-O-E. Now, for your premise, that does not mean they're all John Doe. There will be Jane Does in that list. They will be in the court papers, and many of these will now be given their real names. So that's what everybody's scrambling around. They're hoping that within 187 mentions of J. Doe in the court papers, or John Doe or Jane Doe, that the real names are going to be given out. But as I told you at the beginning of this video, Jane Doe 107 has been given until the 22nd of January to submit a reason why that should be not so. So why now? Well, the identities are being revealed under a settled lawsuit against Ghislaine Maxwell, the daughter of British media tycoon Cam Barb. She, Ghislaine Maxwell, is serving a 20-year prison sentence for the crimes she committed with Epstein. The defamation lawsuit was brought by Virginia Jeffery, one of Maxwell's accusers, and at the time, the names were kept secret under a court-ordered seal. But last month, a judge in New York ruled that these could now come to light. But it's getting murkier. Jeffrey Epstein's records release have been delayed. Or have they? Everyone is reporting that the Jeffrey Epstein records set to be released from the Jeffrey versus Maxwell court case are delayed for another 20-odd days, 30 days, after the court approved an extension request from Jane Doe 107. Now, Doe 107 has until January 22nd to submit evidence proving her claim that releasing the relevant records will put her at a risk of physical harm. The key words in the filing are relevant records, which leads me to believe that other records that do not pertain to Doe 107 may still be released before then. We've already had information leaked to the media about the records yesterday, such as the news that Bill Clinton is Doe number 36, John Doe 36, and that he's named more than 50 times in the records. Furthermore, it broke that a new lawsuit has surfaced in LA accusing Epstein associate Jean-Luc Brunel of holding a woman hostage at a Canadian estate for sex abuse by multiple men. We certainly will learn more from that case also. Sounds like a film Eyes Wide Shut. Don't you agree? One way or the other, I believe more information will be released this month, January, and this delay may only be relevant to the records that include Jane Doe 107. So what did the judge say about the names? Judge Loretta Preska noted that many of the individuals named in the lawsuit have already been publicly identified by the media or in Ghislaine Maxwell's trial. She added that many others did not raise an objection to the release of the documents, and some of the names on the list will remain sealed, including those belonging to child victims, the judge said in her ruling. And some individuals may have appeared more than once under different Doe numbers, so the exact number of names to emerge is unknown. But as I said to you earlier in this video, who is Jane Doe 107? So what did the judge say about the names? Judge Loretta Preska noted that many of the individuals named in the lawsuit have already been publicly identified by the media or in Ghislaine Maxwell's trial. She added that many others did not raise an objection to the release of the documents, and some of the names on the list will remain sealed, including those belonging to child victims, the judge said in her ruling. And some individuals may have appeared more than once under different Doe numbers, so the exact number of names to emerge is unknown. But as I said to you earlier in this video, who is Jane Doe 107? So, whose names will be on the Epstein list? There will be a mixture of people accused of wrongdoing, people making those accusations, and others who were potential witnesses to crimes. There could be employees of Epstein or people who visited his home or went on his private plane. Prince Andrew is expected to be on the list. The court filings include 40 documents, 40 documents of evidence from a woman who has made accusations against the prince. Joanna Scheuberg claimed Prince Andrew groped her while sitting on a couch inside Epstein's Manhattan apartment in 2001. Buckingham Palace have previously said the allegations are categorically untrue. Last year, the prince paid millions to Virginia Jeffery to settle a lawsuit that she'd filed claiming that he sexually abused her when she was 17 years old. He said he never met Ms. Jeffery and denied her allegations. Another question springs quite readily to mind. Was Bill Clinton on the Epstein list? Well, the former US president is mentioned more than 50 times in the court documents, according to ABC News, but there is no implication of illegality. He travelled on Epstein's plane on humanitarian trips to Africa in the early 2000s, and at the time praised Epstein as a committed philanthropist. Mr. Clinton's team have previously said that he cut ties with Epstein before the financier came under investigation. Many of these mentions in these court filings relate to Ms. Giuffre's unsuccessful attempts to make the former president testify about his relationship with Epstein, says ABC's news channel. So, as a little background, you may or may not know this, and you may know these details, but who exactly was Jeffrey Epstein? Dead men can't speak, can they? Died in jail in 2019. Epstein died whilst awaiting federal sex trafficking charges and was ruled to be a suicide by the New York Medical Examiner. Epstein was accused of running a vast network of underage girls for sex, and Epstein pleaded not guilty, if you remember. So a decade earlier, he had been convicted of soliciting prostitution from a minor. Are you aware that when the FBI got access to Jeffrey Epstein's $77 million townhouse in New York City, bizarrely bought from Victoria's Secret mogul Les Lexner for $1, when it was raided by the FBI, they found $70,000 in cash, 42 diamonds, a fake Saudi passport, a hoard of photo CDs, and boxes of hard drives already covered with evidence tape. Again, a very simple and easy question springs to mind. Why were they already prepared for the FBI? And who had tipped off the people that did it? See, I don't know what surprises me more, that Jane Doe 107 is so important that the whole Epstein list has to be held up. Or, and it's a valid journalistic question, is there a super powerful female P. Doe? You can give names, but I can't possibly comment. But why does she need 30 days? That's another question that should be asked. If you thought this was ever going to amount to anything, and you thought they were just going to publish the names yesterday, all of them, to the worldwide media and social media, you haven't been paying attention since 2015. Now, don't forget in December, this is possibly a negotiating point, but Ghislaine Maxwell was quoted in the mainstream press saying she would release names from her little black book. So we're no further forward. You think they're just going to publish and be damned? Well, let's just observe and wait and see what happens over the next 3 weeks until January 22nd, when we may get some names, we may not get others. But when will we get the full list? My name's Adrian Allen. Thank you for your likes, your subscriptions, but most of all, your indulgence. As soon as I get more news, you'll be the first to hear it. See you in the next video.